Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi,
Yay.
I'm not dressed yet. I'm going to go get a...
Okay.
Yeah.
Clothing is optional. So, hey, Heat DreamTribe Friday morning call. This is June
21st.
21st. Welcome, welcome. So, we have some fun things that we wanted to talk about today, but one of the big things that I woke up thinking about was just our journey over the years. And for those of you that don't know, we had initially fast-tracked to senior sales coordinator when we were still living in Hawaii. And when we moved here to Oregon, I just felt like I wanted to take a break and kind of ground, spend time making friends. I was at the end of my pregnancy with Tova. I wanted to just give birth. And what I can tell you is we took a 3-year break. And when I look at those 3 years, we earned really about $1,000 an hour for those entire 3 years. And when we re-engaged, a lot of our organization had crumbled and we started back fresh at the highest commission, but without an organization to speak of. And I think we were still qualified. Maybe we even got out of qualification by the end of those 3 years. And then we did another surge with 3 years and fast tracked to QNMD. And so I just was meditating on how grateful I am that we had put the time and energy to build up to that stable residual income and that we got to benefit from it. Like how amazing that we continued to get paid every month. The IRS didn't know we weren't working. We were writing off all of our home expenses. And honestly, you guys, when I look at our tax return, we were being paid $1,000 an hour because we worked very minimally for those entire 3 years. And so on one hand, I wish that we wouldn't have disengaged completely. I wish we would have kept kept loving on our team members enough so that they didn't do what we were doing, because I feel sad for those sales coordinators that we had that disengaged, and what could they have had if we continued to stay in that energy of setting the example so that maybe they too could be sharing this same story. And I'm really grateful for the time and energy that we put in. And so I think the big thing that I was thinking about this morning is just when you're in those moments of, I don't know if this is working, I love this, but there's aspects I don't, what does it mean? Just all of the questions that arise, there is something really profound to say about residual income and what that can do for the family. Because then when Michael lost his job in January, it's been a big hit to our family on lots of levels. And at the same time, I am so grateful that I know our mortgage is paid, our utility bills are paid, and we have food on the table. And so if at any point life throws us another curveball, or our priorities or passions arise in other directions, I will make sure to always keep enough energy to keep our team afloat so that we can be that example, knowing that we all live life. But if there's anything that I could say to you is just, if you can commit a chunk of time, whatever that time is for you, what I'm seeing in our pattern is 3 years. 3 years of really investing that consistent daily activity and building the skills and attracting team members that are moving and grooving. And I hope that one of you gets to tell the same story of, I got to float for a little bit, and I got to take my family on a 3-month trip, or I got to take a month off postpartum after giving birth, and my paycheck went up, and I got the opportunity to benefit from residual income, knowing that lives were still being impacted and we were doing good around the world. Any comments about that? Anything that comes to you when I just say that out loud?
You might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
I think I'm already unmuted. It speaks to me so deeply right now. And I'm pretty sure you're not surprised. Is Denise wanting to go?
Go ahead, Beth.
You know, because you, Mariah and Michael know this has been in my Juice Plus journey. I'm going to get very vulnerable, extremely challenging time where I've had lots of cancellations. Anyway, you're just really speaking to me. That's all I want to say right now. And I'm right on that cusp that you're talking about of going, oh my God, you know, am I going to even be able to build this, you know? So
Of
very
course you're
time
able
for
to
me.
build this. That's what's so cool.
Well,
Everyone is able to.
I'm trying. I mean, you know, we'll talk. So I don't want to take this to the whole team.
And when you are getting into that place of asking yourself those questions, that is when I feel like you can access a phenomenal power more than you were able to acknowledge before.
That's how
I've always believed that we are able to tap into creator energy in times of transition. Because in times of transition, things are chaotic, in flux, foundations being redistributed. We get to then choose how we want to reprioritize and refocus our energy. And it's a powerful, powerful time. And that's where, I don't know, do you want to transition?
Go ahead.
So that's where we do have some questions to ask, unless anybody else has other comments. This is actually a really beautiful segue into kind of what we were talking about. Denise, did you want to say something really quick?
Sure, I'll say something. So
Okay.
what it makes me think of is, you know, all kinds of things come at you in life. And one thing that I know for sure is I'm totally unwavering in where I'm going with this business. And some days it feels like, wow, am I going to be able to do this? And then I think about all of the things that it has taught me and empowered me to do that I didn't think that I was going to be able to do. And so I take on the things that need to be taken on at the moment, and I just stay super unwavering in that. And one of the things that I heard Jim Rohn say, this is how he would introduce people to his business. He'd say, I'm working part-time on my, I'm not going to get it exactly right, but I'm working part-time on my, on like my financial future, and while I'm working full-time in my job. And then his side gig became the same amount of pay as his regular job. And he started to shift that. And it was hard for him to let go of that, like working part-time, because that really drew people in. And honestly, like where I'm at in my Juice Plus business, I'm making as much as I do as I was doing when I was just working on the floor at Liquid Assets a couple shifts a week. And so it's really, yeah, it's awesome. It's exciting to have that shift where it removes some of the pressure for me to not have to do the thing that hurts my body, that I want to be moving away from and moving into something new. And so like looking at all those little wins and looking where I was a year ago is like, that's what keeps me like driving and moving forward. So yeah, what you say, Mariah, what you were saying, Mariah, really like it strikes a chord with me, because there's so much that we've grown into already. And it may feel like not enough right this moment, but when you look back at what it was, at where you were and where you've grown to, it's awesome. Stay the course.
Beautiful.
I even think of when Erin Maurer on the Heat Team call shared, if you're a sales coordinator and you just have one customer that just stays a customer, a year later you made, it was like $350 or something. I'm like, whoa. When you step back and look at it in perspective, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Ashley?
I was just, it brought to mind what somebody said, you can tell me who, is that we have seasons. And there are seasons of work and there are seasons of play. And am I on? Okay. There's seasons, and I'm experiencing a new season right now because my substitute teaching is done. Now I get to the full pressure off. Now I get to focus on only two jobs instead of three. And I have a season where I don't do tie-dyeing in the winter, so I have more freedom. So it just brings to mind that we can work at different paces at different times, and it all ends up being sowing of a garden and seeds placed. And that's the way I view all of it.
And the one thing I'm going to add is, even in the midst of those seasons, if I could go back, I would still keep those non-negotiables of attending summit and attending conference. I think in those 3 years, had we just done that and set the example for our teams, it would have been significantly different. And so I just have to put in that reminder for the Leavenworth Summit at the end of July, especially because Michael and I are main stage trainers and Chris and Nikki are main stage trainers. We've rented the house. We have space for everybody to stay. It's a phenomenal team building activity. The energy of the summit, I think, is off the charts. And it's just one of those non-negotiables. Okay, you wanted to.
Yeah. And Bonnie, I saw you raise your hand. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but perhaps I could use you for the first participant in our next activity, which is, I want everybody just to take a moment and think about, what would you like this business opportunity to do for you? And also, why is it important to you?
And you don't, Bonnie, if if you're not ready to answer that question, Shalene says she's ready.
I'll be real quick. It's the same question as the one before. It gets me out of all the boxes that I've been in before and allows me to have the kind of enthusiasm and structure that can make my, what did I call it? I can have a livelihood instead of a livelihood.
Nice, nice. Shalene, go ahead.
I think for me, what instantly comes to mind is being at home with my kids again and being able to travel. I was having a conversation with somebody recently about what my future holds, and just like holding space that I know that this business is going to get me to a place where I can buy plane tickets for me and my 3 kids and go anywhere and just figure it out. Go to hotels, go to rent a Winnebago, and just for me, like having that future vision of really being able to choose to do whatever I want, and not be in this place of like just surviving, is a really big deal.
And what I'm also hearing is thriving with geographic freedom, so that you can do it where you want and when you want, and you're not tied to Southern Oregon.
Well, really what that is, it's financial.
Right, exactly. It's financial freedom.
Yeah.
Well, but it's more than just financial freedom.
It's choice freedom.
It's choice freedom. Because we could both work full-time in our professions and make great money, but we're clocking in, clocking out, and stuck here, and somebody else tells us when we get vacation time. It's choice freedom.
It's choice freedom.
Yeah.
Kate, were you going to say something?
No, but I could.
Go for it.
I just feel the same way as Shalene. Like, I have a vision of kind of where I'm at now and kind of where I want to be in 10 years from now. And it's not very, what's that word? Not mainstream. And it's not mainstream how I want to get there and how that looks like. And so that having this right now, regardless of the seasons, and it just gives me like lots of excitement for that future vision, and a doorway and windows into like how I'm going to get there. Clarity.
Yeah. What I'll say is this is a non-conventional, non-competitive community.
Yeah. Doing good around the world.
Yeah.
Kate, can I put you on the spot a little bit? Would you just share what it's been like joining BNI? I mean, this is a little tangential, but
Sure.
what has that experience been like for you?
It's awesome, actually. I mean, I love the BNI group in Ashland. They're amazing. And I walk into the room and everyone's really excited to be there together with each other. And I feel like I have made the commitment to learn how to be a better business person. And that's really the piece that I feel like in myself, I'm like, business, like I get all like kinked up. And so to commit to that and doing it in a way that feels really fun and also that feels really like relevant to Juice Plus. It's like, it's learning how to be a good networker, which is so important in life. That's what we're doing at Juice Plus too. We're good networkers. We're trying to build that. So it feels so relevant and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, just learning business and networking in a really like clear way and how to be a public speaker and how to be like attract people to want to talk to you and all that. It's so relevant. It's so awesome.
It's one of the things where I feel like it helps us to really step into a more professional element, but not so much like suit and tie business, but it's really just accountability, integrity, and showing up for ourselves as we show up for other people.
So putting in a plug, check out your BNI chapter in your area.
Yeah. If you're not in BNI, it's significant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna go into
Okay. Kamara, what about you? Kamara and Sarah, putting you on the spot. And Marsha, I don't know if you can unmute yourself if you're in a space to share. What would you like this business to do for you and why is it important? And then we'll call on Missy.
Hello. Sure. Tell me what to say.
We're each sharing about 10 minutes of kind of some of our deepest, darkest secrets.
Kamara, I see you.
Go ahead, Kamara.
Okay, you guys are putting everybody on the spot today. So
Yeah.
I'll jump in. My phone's acting funny here. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited about I had someone put in an order the other day, so that was exciting. Someone who's been wanting to for quite some time. So I'm feeling a little good with that. And I'm excited about my retreat business really, really picking up and folding Juice Plus into it more and more and more. So yeah, that's my vision. It's been my vision with this from day one, and I'm feeling it starting to happen. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see everyone and have that sense of community with all of you guys again tomorrow. So we'll definitely be there.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really glad you said what you said, because one of our coaches, one of the big things I've heard him say is you have to excite your business until your business excites you.
Yeah.
And it is okay if there's a moment where you're not feeling excited by Juice Plus, or it's a different type of excitement, to go tap into excitement elsewhere, to go jump naked into the stream, or go do your spiritual retreat and feel filled up, and take that excitement and then pour it into Juice Plus for a little bit. Go put on a fun song and dance in the living room and feel filled up, so that you can pour the excitement into the Juice Plus business, and the people that you then communicate with feel the excitement. It doesn't matter where the excitement is coming from. What I'm hearing from you is you are passionate about doing the spiritual retreats, and you feel fulfilled and filled up by them. And that energy can merge with the Juice Plus franchise, and you can also glean the energy that you receive from that, and then pour the energy into the Juice Plus activity.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's a really important piece, especially when a phone call feels like lifting 100-pound weight. You know, we have to do something to bring that energy into our body so that we can then be a conduit to then channel it to others. Beautiful. Yeah. Sarah, Missy. So Missy, the question is, what would you like this business to do for you, and why is that important?
Okay, hold on. Let Sarah go first while I sit with that.
All right, Sarah. You're on the spot. Your mouth is still open. There she is.
Let me
Cool, let's
unmute you.
unmute you.
Wait. Oh, it won't let me unmute you. You got to unmute yourself. There,
Okay.
you're good.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, guys. I just brought my car to the mechanic, so I was kind of out for a second. Thanks for repeating the question. I guess I'm along the same lines as everyone else, trying to not be tied down to a 9 to 5. Well, mine's a 7 to 7:30, but right, that's what the question was, right? what do we want Juice Plus to do for us? Just freedom, period. That's my goal for life. So that would be good if that could get
And
there, but I'm having a lot of roadblocks at this moment. You know, my kid is like finishing up 8th grade, and there's just like events that have been going on here. There's just like life just kind of really put a big huge pressure on me, so this just really kind of got put in the back of my mind, because I had so much going on, and so I
so,
didn't even have a
Sarah,
moment. Yeah.
we can refer to that rather than roadblocks or obstacles. We can refer to that as resistance training.
Yes, resistance training was tough.
Yeah. You're going through a boot camp right now, and it's all good.
Yeah.
You're being challenged, right? And
Very
so,
much so, yeah.
Going back to how can you bring excitement into your Juice Plus? How can you bring excitement and tapping into why it is you're doing what you're doing, and what you want this to do for you, and who will benefit most, and what's the impact that creating a residual income, or what's the impact on your emotional well-being, knowing that you've helped your friends or your family or strangers move through their own health challenges through this evidence-based nutritional program. To really tap into what fuels you on that deeper level.
And to remember that it can be done in 15-minute increments. We all have full lives. We all work other jobs and raise our kids. And that's not to diminish the fullness of what each of us are juggling. But honestly, this can be done in 15-minute increments. You just set aside that 15 minutes. And yes, Denise, go ahead.
I just have something that's so similar, Sarah, to what everybody's speaking to, that I've really been working on myself. I have a restaurant that's in the busy season that we're working on building back up again. And the thing that I constantly go back and remind myself is I'm 47 years old. And if every day I just put in a very small amount, or even if I have to break it down to every week, I put in a couple hours, where will I be in 10 years versus where would I be in 10 years if I kept doing the same thing? I know in 10 years from now, it's a marathon. This is not a sprint. We often get in the comparing to what somebody else is doing or the pace that somebody else is moving at. But we don't know the whole story of maybe that person doesn't have another job. Maybe their kids are grown. Maybe whatever is cleared up space-wise in their life to give them that space. But if I keep doing this, 10 years from now, I am guaranteed to be at a better place than I am today if I keep doing the same thing. And 10 years from now, I'm only 57 years old. And to be only 57 years old and have that freedom, I wouldn't get that on the course that I'm at. So that's what I remind myself of every day. It's what does 10 years from now look like? And what
the richness of your community. I think about one of the reasons I'm so excited about Leavenworth is the people we get to see and the connections we get to make. And meeting up in Austin, I imagine 15, 20 years from now, who knows what our days look like, but I know that every 6 months we all get to reunite and see one another. And that richness in a community of people that really are making an impact on the globe. And we have the like-mindedness in that we all want freedom of choice. And we do it in our own ways. Anyway.
Can I pick back on that, Mariah? Because that's kind of what I was, going off what Denise said. this is a marathon, and there's going to be times when, you're going uphill and it's hard, and there's going to be times when you're going downhill and it might be a little bit easier. But I think for me, like, right now I have other things going on. I'm just going to be really honest. I'm not working my Juice Plus business, but I love my Juice Plus family. And that's what this is bringing me right now, is it's staying in touch with the people I love, who are like-minded, who are on a similar path, where health is important and they want to live lives that look different, and staying plugged into the community right now. Yes, I will be working my business again, but this is a season for me right now where I have other things that where I'm putting my energy, and we only have so much energy to give, for me, outside of my family. So just being honest with myself and saying, yes, there's a time and a place, and I'm going to jump back in when that time and place is right in terms of the business. But the community continues to bring me such richness that is a in and of itself. Like, that's a reason to stay in and of itself. Because I look at all of you on the call, I wouldn't have the relationships I have with you otherwise. Denise, and, even though I kind of knew Kate, I feel like I'm getting to know Kate in a deeper way now. And Bonnie's brand new, but I get to see her face on these calls, and I get to touch in with her life. And, this is what life is about. Yes, money's awesome and freedom's awesome, but relationships and love and community is what makes our lives rich. So that for me is my Juice Plus focus right now, and that's what it's paying me. It's paying me in love and richness of community.
Yeah. And Missy, if you have a chance to go back and listen to the beginning of the recording, if it fits into your day, I think you'll enjoy. Well, who knows? But I think it fits in. Yeah. Yamara sent us a message, and she said it's okay to read. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, she wrote, "I want to know this."
She says I can't unmute myself right now.
Oh,
but
right.
But so say that part.
Okay, I can't unmute myself right now, but want to answer.
Yeah.
I want to know this business to allow me to be at home more often, travel, and make good money in general, so I can free up in some of my many other interests. I want to be able to offer free care for some women, although with an energetic equal exchange. I also want this business to teach my children about health, business, overcoming obstacles, and time and financial freedom. There are so many reasons.
Mm-hmm. For those of you guys that don't know, she's a midwife. So when she says offer care to women with energetic exchange, that's what she's referring to. And I love that she brought in that this is also about teaching our children.
Yeah.
This is about teaching our children about health. It's about teaching our children that, look, mom has something of her own, and she is fighting for bettering the world and fighting to create more freedom for our family, and setting that example for our children to know that they too have the option to have dreams in an unconventional path, and they can connect in the community in the same way, because many times they're coming with us to events and connecting with the aunties and the cousins and the friends.
Yeah. Our kids often ask to do Zoom with their friends in the Juice Plus community.
It's true.
We're also here for the dance parties.
And the dance.
Can I piggyback on that? Where you guys are?
Speaking of Leavenworth, the dance party is quite fun, and it's themed, so make sure we know we get to dress to the nines. Yes, Beth.
I just want to piggyback on what everyone's saying, because I began by speaking of being in a discouraged place, and there's an overriding truth that's much deeper than that I want a chance to say, which is that I'm incredibly passionate about what Juice Plus is and incorporating it into my private practice, which I'm also incredibly passionate about, and seeing the possibility of fusing that at a really high level is what fuels me being involved in this business. And where I'm wanting to take that is total geographic freedom, because both are, and once those are integrated and functioning at a really high level, I'm ready. I'm just ready for that total geographic freedom. I've been able to live a pretty unconventional life all this time, and my children are still watching. And I was texting immediately before this call. My daughter reached out to me, and she's 33, and it was the deepest acknowledgement for her father and I of what we've provided in our very unconventional way. And so that was like a minute before this call started. She reached out to me with that. So that's my vision of why I'm here and what I want to build. And my timing isn't 10 years from now, you know, because it's cellular. My body's like, now I'm in it. This is this time. And my kids are watching, and there's so much.
Awesome. Awesome. So think about what you want, whatever the time frame is, cast that future vision and allow that energy to infuse your present right now. So that way your actions can support that. And, you know, I want to just share, you know, I got those questions. Some of you have gone through it before, but I got those questions from the mission-driven model. I'm sorry, missiondriven.info, the starter guide. So it's real important. Like this is not just, you know, here, let's do an interview. Are you a good fit for this business? This is tapping into your larger why, tapping into the why that makes you cry and the why that makes you fly. There's a quote I want to relatively finish on. And it's being loved by someone gives you strength and loving someone gives you courage. When you tap into, that's Lao Tzu, when you tap into the impact that you are making on the planet, your community, and your family, it will give you courage to do the daily activity to create the lifestyle and the choice freedom, the time freedom, the financial freedom, the geographic freedom, whatever the freedom is that is most valuable to you. By being of service to others, you will then become that freedom.
Mm-hmm. And being on this call is service to this community. And everybody showing up adds to the energy in ways that we likely will never know. And then take this energy and go out and reach out and pick up that 100-pound phone and reach out to people. Because we also, those people deserve to hear about Juice Plus as a way to up-level their health. They also deserve to hear about this community as a way to take them out of a place of loneliness and into a place of connectedness. And they also deserve to hear about the possibility of changing their income reality. And so take this energy courageously and go out and change your own life by changing others.
Yeah. Go forth and love on people.
I feel like I'm on a soapbox.
Yeah. Be the beacon of light so people can find you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We love you guys. If you're going to be, go ahead.
I'm just going to, okay, go ahead.
As I said, you can close the recording.
Okay, I'm doing recording.